Hi, my name's Hazem Gaber, and now we're going to learn about a vertical hitch. So we've got a load, a crate or whatever, and we're lifting it up. So we've got a, a synthetic, say, fiber chain or a material, and then we've got a hook, and then we've got a a wire rope, and then we've got another hook here. And so the hitch is supporting the total weight of the load. So if this is 1,000 pounds, then the sling is 1,000 pounds capacity, or we've got 1,000 pounds of load in our rope. Everything here needs to be rated for 1,000 pounds. So now we've got different items. So here we're lifting a pipe. Here we're lifting a big block of cheese or whatever it is. And here we're lifting a pipe, but we're lifting it vertically. So this may be like a lining for a sewer or something. So we can use what we call a bridle hitch. Now a bridle hitch connects 2, 3, or 4 hitches together for hoisting. And this is great when we have um, an even load, so we can have really good stability, and having more legs gives us more stability. So think about if we were trying to lift this pipe with only one hitch. So even if we were in the center and tied to a hook, this pipe would wobble left and right. Same with the block of cheese. If we lifted from the center, it would wobble left and right. And this pipe right here, we could not possibly, there's no way to lift it from the center. So we need, if we had two hooks, one here and one here, it would still wobble. So having three gives us really good stability. So sometimes the weight is in a couple of the hooks or a couple of the legs, and then the third leg is just balancing the load. But that all depends on the center of gravity of the system and how much tension we've put into the legs, because we might be able to loosen some of these. But like in this example, all three are supporting the weight. Now we can also wrap the sling around the load, and that's called a basket hitch. And this works when our load is hollow or it's got a hole. So in this case, we've got a hole here. In this case, we've got a hole here. And so we want to be careful because sharp edges can tear our sling. So we want to have a softener, a pipe or some plastic or a piece of wood that will keep it from breaking or getting damaged. And here we've got a much larger um, load. So now 2 just doesn't cut it. So we've got 4. We've got 2 single basket hitches, one on each side of the load, and then we've tied them together. And here we've got some softeners to keep it from cutting. So it balances the load here so that it doesn't slip. Now we want to make sure that the slings are against a shoulder on the load, so because they will tend to shift to the center if not. We want to have some friction here so that there's no movement in our rope. And then if we're lifting a load that's like pipes or other loose materials, then we want to wrap our sling around the rope, around the load multiple times, and this tightens up the load and makes 360 degrees of contact in it. So in this case, we've got a bunch of pipes. They're held really well together. It's putting a lot of force inward. So this works really well, and we've got 2 points of contact here, so this balances out the load. Now, when we want to turn a load, we can use what's called the double choker. So we basically wrap around this way and like a noose. Now, this is okay for one pipe, but it's not actually a 360-degree grip, especially with like a bunch of pipes. So it's not good for a loose load, and it can be unbalanced. So this is only good like in specific circumstances. So if you're better off with like a double choker. So now we've got we wrapped around the pipe in two positions, and this is less likely to slip. Now you must make sure that the hooks are turned outwards, and that'll push the sling back into the saddle. So with a double choker, we've got full contact and we're wrapped around the load twice. So one wraps around the outside surface and it draws the load tight to lift loose bundles. And it's good for short lifts of easily balanced loads. Now, when you want to calculate it, how do you know how to choose the proper sling? Well, if you've got a single vertical hitch, then you want to use one time of the sling SWL, which is the safe working load. So if our sling is rated for 1,000 pounds, then we can lift 1,000 pounds as a single vertical hitch. Now, if we've got a basket hitch, then we can use two times the sling's safe working load. So if our sling is rated for 1,000 pounds, we can lift up to 2,000 pounds of load, but only if the legs are vertical and the load is circular and the diameter of the basket is at least 20 times the sling diameter. And if we're using a choker hitch, we can only use 75% of the vertical hitch. So if our vertical hitch, say, is rated 1,000 pounds, then we can only lift 750 pounds. Any questions, please post a comment. Thank you.